and I am a social worker and therapist with Lartey Wellness. Well, I initially started by doing elder care as a in-home nurse's aide. And I considered nursing school, but then decided that what I really enjoyed about the job was the person-to-person connection and providing that sort of emotional support. So that led me to becoming a social worker. And then, I've just found a lot of fulfillment through helping support people and be a safe place for people to come to. Flexibility has been really a huge positive for me. Having a family, I don't have the availability of a sort of like 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. So getting to work weekend hours, getting to work in the evening, I think is really helpful. And I know that a lot of my clients wouldn't be able to see me if I was working 9 to 5 Monday through Friday anyway. So it sort of gives them that option to see a therapist as well. Usually, we have our meetings on Monday, and I make those an admin day where I do a lot of notes and whatever trainings I can do. And then I mainly see my clients on Thursdays and the weekends. So yeah, I mean, I'm taking care of a toddler, and then I'm running into the office and doing a session, and then, kind of running out. So it's fast paced is sort of what it is. That's the only consistent. Yeah. So I'm certainly more eclectic with how I work and the different therapies that I provide. So I'm very much concerned about the individual, and I sort of tailor how I provide therapy to whoever I'm seeing. So I might do a lot of CBD or CBT, I'm sorry, for somebody who is very sort of goal oriented, and they know what their problem is, and they know what the solution is, and they just sort of need steps to get there, and I'll help them get there. But then I have other clients who are just really looking for more insight in their lives and looking to understand and uncover different patterns, and try to understand, why they might be compelled to, get in relationships with certain people, or, work themselves to the ground, or, you know what I mean? And so helping people kind of understand where those things come from. And I really enjoy narrative therapy for things like that, just helping people tell their story and make sense of it and pull out the themes, And I've recently gotten really into internal family systems, which is more about just sort of learning about the different types of selves and the different multitudes you contain, and how to sort of help those selves kind of coexist, and to give, respect and, to accept all of your different selves. So, yeah. I have, a 14-year-old client who I've been with for about a year, and I have a 70-year-old client who I've been with for the past year. And I enjoy both of them so much, and for such different ways, and so I think really anything in between, I think early adolescence to, elders is really what I'm comfortable with, but I tend to gravitate more towards clients with a trauma history or background. I think trauma-informed sort of work is something that I just feel really drawn towards, and just helping people process those traumas and things like that is something that I find really fulfilling. And, once again, just being able to be that safe place or that sort of anchor that people can sort of depend on, week after week to, be able to share that stuff with. I think just the willingness to sort of change and grow, with the different clients we serve, and just that sort of enthusiasm, for taking on new things, and for trying to be as inclusive as possible. And I think, for the clinicians, allowing us to really set our own schedules, to really be in charge of our workload. I find that really refreshing. I would say, well, first of all, if it's not a good fit, if you don't feel comfortable with the therapist, then there's probably a better therapist out there for you. But don't settle for someone who you don't feel comfortable with, because it's going to be hard for you to open up to that person, and it's not going to be a great experience for you. So just sort of knowing yourself, I think, is important, and it's almost like It's almost like dating, I find, like you're not necessarily going to meet the love of your life, the first time you go on a date. Sometimes it takes a little bit of trial and error, but that doesn't mean that therapy doesn't work. Sometimes it's just not the right fit. So I think just being, conscious of that, if you're not comfortable talking to somebody, that's totally fine. You might find someone else that you're more comfortable talking to. And then also, just being a little bit patient, which, I think that sometimes people struggle with. They say, I'm starting therapy, why don't I feel better yet? Sometimes, especially, if these feelings or behaviors have been going on for a long time, it can take a while, to get back to, your sort of homeostasis or, a good place of being. And so just, trust the process and let yourself, take your time if that's what you need to do. Oh, both of those are really hard questions because I love TV and I love food. My favorite television show. Okay, it's probably a show that no one else watches, but it's a show called Vera, and it's a detective show based in like Northumberland in England. And Vera is the detective, and she's very grumpy and gruff, and I just really admire her. She's kind of, she's brash, and, she stands up for herself when she needs to, but, she's always there to sort of help pick up the vulnerable people and protect them. And I have a dog named after her because I admire her chutzpah so much, so yeah. I'm sorry about that. I think Tasmania. Yeah. I think they just have really cool, nature, I guess I would say. Really cool, like geological sort of like phenomena there and stuff like that. Like really cool caves and rock formations and really interesting, plants and flora, fauna, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think Tasmania. I am not, I guess, what you would call a very ambitious person in terms of like wanting like accolades or, like a lot of like recognition for anything. I think like what I really just want is like a peaceful and fun and harmonious, like family life, and a balance with my work life, and just sort of getting fulfillment in both of those things. So yeah, I think just getting to a point in my life where I feel competent, at all of those things, and I feel sort of satisfied in that kind of way is sort of where I'm trying to go. Yeah. I guess just helping people pause, I think that that's sort of like a theme that comes up a lot in my sessions, and I think it's just sort of, yeah, I think overall, I think people could benefit from pausing before reacting or responding to things. And I think if people were able to pause and, figure out, oh, what defenses are acting up, or, why am I, reacting violently, or, why am I, espousing this sort of bigoted hate speech or something like that. I think that, giving yourself that sort of space to let yourself just stop and check in with yourself has a way of like really decreasing a lot of tension. And I think that if people were more comfortable with really checking in with themselves before they react to things, then the world would be a lot more peaceful.